I looked to poems at the beginning of this project, and specifically landscape poems. This is one of my favourites, as there was a lot of adjectives, and so for example, rippling and breezes, bright green velvet, and I thought these adjectives and verbs would inform pattern and colour. So velvet, bright green colour of the grass, rippling in the breezes, this could create a pattern of grass. Youthful, never still, never silent, creating and engaging senses. Dancing in the rain, shadows of clouds, wind and weather. There's always wind, which I think would be important to include in my landscapes to make make the viewer feel immersed. And then this one, describing how the birches leap and bend, the roving sun, blurred, so engaging that sense of memory, notion of calm. Leafless trees interrupt the field, and this is specifically I found in Hampstead. There wasn't, at the moment it's just reaching spring, so there's no trees on the leaves, which I find quite hard to envisage, but actually they offer really unique line work, lazy and warm with life, sunset light, whispering. I started with the word landscape to kickstart my project, so found an article online about how landscape in art has developed briefly throughout the years. Found in the 19th century there was an explosion of landscape painting, and it was highly popular due to the direct manifestation of God on what he's created, and this sense of alienation from seeing beauty and nature in landscapes due to the increasing industrialization in society. So people who lived in cities and did not see this anymore looked to paintings, and this provided a sanctuary and a sense of calm, and I suppose this helped human well-being and presents my theme of environment. And I created a mind map on landscapes and how this connects to me using my memories, places I hold a special connection to, where I've been, where I live, family memories. Then I did colour, which is very important to me, and pattern, and how bright vivid colours contrast with dull colours, and how this creates emotion and atmosphere, and using colour and pattern to envisage new worlds and see beauty in the existing and make the viewer see how I see things. The colours can affect the temperature of the painting, and also the patterns relate to the culture or the mark making you see in everyday life, like the walls or buildings. Events, how a place is presented and how we see it, and then how this may look potentially. So segmented blocks of pattern, colour and texture, brush strokes, texture, because I think this is very interactive and adds dimension, shape. I look into Picasso, how he segments landscapes into geometric patterns, sharp and smooth, this juxtaposing the naturalistic versus abstracted forms. And then I found keywords that I had mind mapped that I really enjoyed and I felt were really important to this project. Then I did what it will look like, looking to pattern, colour, movement, curves, shapes, transformation of place, taking something boring and mundane and presenting it in a complete transformation. Then I looked to places and locations that I could explore potentially. So Hampstead, where I live and where I go to most weekends to relax and get this sense of calm. So that's very important to me. It's important to my mental health. My garden as well, where I come, is a sanctuary for me. London, where I'm from, Dorset, very special, and the Witterings, Jurassic Coast, Barcelona, Venice. This is all the places where I go with my family and they hold special memories to me. So, to inform my theme, I went to the National Gallery in London, and I felt if I was doing landscape, I had to go somewhere where I would see a lot of these. And this was evident in the Impressionism room, where I saw lots of Monets, Van Goghs, Cézannes, and lots of famous Impressionist paintings that caused a lot of controversy as well as popularity. I really enjoyed these two, specifically this one because of the foreground and then the water in the back and the sky. I just think it feels like they've captured a memory. This was by Cézanne, but yeah, it just reminds me of holiday and reaching a high point and looking down to this magical place. Famous one. I love the mark making, as well as this one reminds me of Durdle Door and the Jurassic Coast, and I love the mark making. This one by Monet is my particular. I actually prefer it to the water lilies. I just love the water, and I just love how it feels like he's captured a memory on his holiday, which what he did. And he also did this. So Seurat did these studies too of people leisurely relaxing on the Zen, and they just feel so calm, and they feel like they've captured a time, a place. And I found out that he actually did these on wood, and as they were easily transported, and he would take them out in these scenes and just start painting on them, which could be an idea for the future. This was my particular favourite painting by Van Gogh, A Wheat Field with Cypresses. I just love the richness of the colour and the texture, but also the pastel, almost abstracted sky is just stunning. And I did some studies with some oil pastel, which I photocopied, and I did a pencil drawing of the previous picture, but I really tried to use his colours. And actually I found the oil pastel was really easy to mix the colours, and I found this is a really effective medium. It creates that mark making and it creates movement, which I really enjoyed. I visited the Royal Academy of Arts and went into the student room, which I really enjoyed, as it was interesting to see what students were creating, and just taking pictures around me on the way there, so of like patterns and doors and windows. I saw a scully when I was there, which I really enjoyed. All the shininess of the paint just came out at you, even though it's 2D. I also found there was a lot of architectural rooms, which I really enjoyed because I thought with buildings this might inform that. And then there was a whole wall of sculptures, which was really fun and quirky. But this was my particular favourite, Pablo's Dancer too. And it's kind of a homage to Picasso's Three Dances. And he actually used paint pouring on this. And I just love how it's so contained here. But then it's just like this explosion, which is still enclosed in a space, but it's so juxtaposed. And I really liked it, and all the texture, and it just looked like a canvas of fun. I did some studies of the roads that I saw in London and the patterns. I really enjoyed this one. I loved all the curved lines and the shapes and that idea of perspective and how this changes. And then I did some sketches of figures just embracing all body types, which I really enjoyed doing, and it gave me a lot of insight. I did those sketches based on my visit to the Sophie Tea Gallery in Carnaby Street. She explores female nudes and uses these bright and dull colours which are used so abstractly. For example, here she uses them so abstractly, yet when you go close they look so abstracted and surreal, yet when you look from afar they just look so real, which I found is really playing with the viewer's eyes and just creating a new way of not using flesh tones but using colour. And I think it adds characteristic and personality to these nudes, instead of over sexualising the female body, I feel with nude paintings can do sometimes. The burst of colour actually makes you think about more of the woman than the body. It was just very interactive. There was rooms you could walk into, and there was whole walls of naked women, and there was these compliment cards which I really enjoyed. I just felt it was very, and you can sit there and take photos. It was just very inclusive and interactive and immersive, but it also, I left feeling very confident, and it just increases body love and self-love. So I did some sketchbook reflection on the last projects, and I felt these were all important to me because they were quite far out of my comfort zone, and this is what I want to do in the next project. I don't want to just stick with what I know, and I loved particularly the lines in this. So I chose my watercolour and ink studies using bleach salt because I just felt this was so out of my comfort zone. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it inspired a lot of the mark making on my final pieces, as well as my wire sculptures and my collagraphs. The collagraphs inspired the wire sculptures, which then inspired the ink and watercolour. And I really want to use more printing in this next in my FMP, particularly collagraphs, because I like how you can separate the colours and choose and like paint on what you want, which I find is really good because sometimes print can be quite restrictive, but I found collagraphing was very effective and I think suits my art more. I love this wire. I absolutely love these sculptures. I did some frottage with these, and then I put them in water, which was so out of my comfort zone and quite risk-taking, but the photographic element was very effective, and it just captured the movement, a time, a space and time, which I just really enjoyed. A wave wire sculpture, and I just used my paint pouring paintings to I projected shadow onto my painting with the wire sculpture, and it created these lovely moments of movement and time that just really complemented with the motion of the paint pour. And I also put them under the sculptures, which were clear acrylic, and I just really enjoyed all of these pages.